nature of practice so far? It seemed like guys were talking, jawing a little bit.
You know, I love it. You know, that's the nature of football. And a lot of these guys I played against in college, former teammates of mine. So, that's all good. You know, on the field, we do that thing off the field. We're back, shaking hands and talking to each other.
Now, about the boring stuff, pass protection. It's very big in the NFL. What kind of emphasis are you placing on that, like during your off-season training now, preparing for the draft? And, what are people telling you about pass pro in the NFL?
It's a big emphasis every draft that I spoke with, and then every coach that I spoke to told me that, you can't be a running back in the NFL if you don't pass protect. The quarterback is the most expensive player, and you got to do everything in your power to protect him. So it's a big emphasis on that.
Have you talked to the Broncos?
No, sir.
In terms of pass protection, like how would you describe your style? What's your strength in terms of anticipating blitz, that kind of thing?
I see the coverages that they're running, see where the safeties are, seeing everything, basically seeing the whole field and just seeing tendencies. Some guys have a tendency to, like when they're not blitzing or when they're blitzing, they tend to make it look like they're doing something else, like trying to keep their eyes on the receiver, and it's obvious that you're coming into the eye.
It seems like it's more film study than technique for you when it comes to pass pro.
I mean, yes, sir. Technique is places major emphasis on technique, practice and all that stuff. But I would say film study is just as important because you can have all the technique in the world, but if you don't know your opponent, then you're not going to have the right technique to take care of.
If a team asks you, hey, what do you do well, but what are the areas you have to improve to succeed at the next level, what would you tell them?
I would say I do a great job of making those tough yards runs and stuff like that, consistently falling forward and breaking tackles and stuff like that. But I would say that I need to improve on getting to the second level and hitting those home runs and stuff like that and catching out of the backfield. I feel like that's an area that I really can improve in, so I can be more versatile than I am now.
You kind of have some Alvin Kamara to your game. Who did you grow up watching and idolizing and maybe trying to even emulate when you were a kid?
Growing up, I watched Cincinnati Bearcats. That was my favorite guy. Agent Peterson.
Why you were 21.
Yeah, Agent Peterson, Marshawn Lynch. And this past season, every Saturday, I would watch Marshawn Lynch highlights, like in the hotel. Him or Leonard Fournette, I would watch their highlights just because I had that mindset. Like, I'm run through somebody's face today.
Everybody talks about the physical grind of playing in the NFL, but what's your biggest takeaway so far in terms of preparing for the mental grind of playing in the NFL?
I would say it's just as mental as it is physical, we practice for an hour and a half, and then we're doing meetings for multiple hours, so finding that time to yourself to collect your thoughts and, really prepare yourself to handle this and put your best foot forward.
Who are the most important people to help you get here?
My parents and my grandparents, really my whole family, just mom and dad and grandma, all those, they really made it really easy for me growing up, making sure that I had everything that I needed to succeed.
Now that you're almost there to the NFL, take us back to the moment, whether it was Pee Wee, high school. When did you realize, like, wait a second, I could make it to the pros?
My dad always told me since I was 6. I started playing football at 4. Didn't really know what I was doing. I just would always go outside and hit somebody and stuff like that. But then when I was 6, I started playing running back. I started playing running back good. So my dad was like, we would always watch NFL. We watch the Bengals on Sundays and stuff like that. He was like, you want to go there? And then he would always tell me, like, you got to do this, this, and this. You got to have that discipline mentality to get there. And it's kind of paying off now. People with each NFL scout and stuff like that, they always say, like, you seem very disciplined, well-spoken, and all that good stuff. And that's part of the things that my dad told me I had to do to get here.
Have you been told a draft range to expect, like rounds, like what rounds to go?
No, sir. Not really paying attention to that. Whenever whoever picks me, they're going to get a hard worker. All I need is an opportunity.
Let's say I'm an NFL GM. Sell me on what you bring as a player. Like, sell me on who you are as Corey Kiner.
Mr. Consistent. Discipline, you tell me to do something, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability from point A to point B as hard as I can. I'm going to do my best to be a good teammate and lead the team, and then I'm a workhorse. So I'm going to give you all I got and get those tough yards, things that people don't want to do. Like, yeah, the highlights are great, but like, I'm going to be that guy that runs through that brick wall if coach tells me to.
Good. All right.
Appreciate you, man.